Today we'll take chapter 2. I started recording, right? Yes. Today we'll take chapter 2, section 1. Okay, I'll share the PowerPoint with you. Here is it. Page 33 to 36. Did you take it before, girls? Did you take this chapter before? Grade 9? Did you take it before?
I don't know.
Okay. So do you see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay, so girls, chapter 2, section 1. This section I divided into two parts because it talks about economic systems. So we will take more than one system. We'll take more than one system. So today we'll take two systems, okay? We will talk about what? Economic systems. Okay, what is economic systems? When companies want to do business in other countries, they need to adjust their business plans to meet local customs. What does it mean? It means each society, each country, it has its own economic system. It has its own economic system. What is an economic system? Economic system, an organized way of providing for the wants and needs of their people. Again, what is economic system? Remember that we have wants and we have needs to survive, and we have wants. There is, okay, how the community, how the country, how the government, okay, provide these needs and wants. How the organized way of providing for the wants and needs of their people by following a specific system, specific economic system. Again, what is economic system? Economic system, how the government apply the wants and needs for their people, for its people. How the government apply the wants and needs. It is an economic system, an economic system. Each country has its own economic system. Okay, so the way societies organize themselves determine the type of economic system they have. Economic system is how the government or the community provides the wants and needs. Okay? The way they organize themselves, it tells you the type of economic system. The first kind of economic system is traditional economy. Traditional economies. Are you with me, grade 9?
Yes.
Yes. From the word tradition, we know that tradition means what? What is inherited by our grandfather, what is inherited by our ancestors. Okay? For example, when McDonald's wanted to open in India, you know McDonald's, right? What's Big Mac in McDonald's?
A burger.
Yes, burger. And in India, there are Hindus. The majority of their religions is Hindus, those who consider cows to be gods. So their tradition that cows are gods. So can they eat cows? No. So McDonald's did what? They canceled Big Mac in India and they called it, they have a substance like meat. It's called, I think, Montu or something like this. They made a Maharaja Big. Instead of Big Mac, Big Maharaja. And they made this sandwich. So McDonald's adapted itself to the community, to the government around it. Okay? Again, what is traditional economies? Tradition is up to the traditions of the community. So like what? Hunting, like fishing, like gathering, gathering the crops of the fields, okay, fishing and farming. Like here, this picture, these are women who carry plants on their backs. Not all the women in the world do this, only in this place. Like what? Like he says to you, examples of many societies, such as the Central African Maputi. This is a group of people called Maputi in Central Africa. Look, he carries a deer on his chest, and they wear different clothes. These people are in a community. The African Maputi, they have their traditions. How do they eat? How do they eat? Because, girls, the first goal for the human people, for human to survive, is to eat. The first thing they think of is how to eat and drink. So here they do what? They hunt. Look, from the bows they have. From the bows you can understand that how they provide their food, how they provide themselves food.
By hunting?
Hunting.
By hunting or
Yes.
fishing.
Yes. Another example, these in Australia, okay, Australian Aborigines, okay, and indigenous, these are the indigenous, like old Indians, those who were the native people of America, indigenous peoples around the world have traditional economies. For example, then there is another example. So these are in Australia. These are around the world. The Inuit of northern Canada. Here, those Inuit, those people who live in North Canada. North Canada is snow, only snow. Okay, they are freezing there. The Inuit of northern Canada are among the few communities that have a traditional economy. How they survive? Fishing. They can't plant there because they stand or what? They sit on what? On snow. Okay? They live on snow, nothing. They cannot plant on snow. Inuit parents taught their children how to survive in a harsh climate. How? By making this special kind of cloth, by fishing and hunting. Their children in turn taught these skills to the next generation. So this is a tradition. It means that it has been inherited through the generations. The Inuit people, parents, taught their children how to fish and how to hunt and how to lit fire. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, because it is freezing there. So when they hunt, it was traditional to share the food they have. Okay? If they hunt a bear, okay, they divide it and evenly and give each one food. Not everyone will hunt, no, only few people hunt. And they divide the food among them. Okay? So again, traditional economies. Economic system is how the community supply the wants and the needs. How in traditional, it's up to the traditions inherited by parents or by ancestors. So if this community used to plant, they will plant. Okay, plant. And his son knows how to plant. He gets married, and then his son teach his son how to plant. If it's on fishing, so it's a way inherited from the ancestors. Okay. What is an advantage of traditional economies? what is a good thing about traditional economies? The main advantage of traditional economy that everyone knows which role to play. So you're in the Inuit here, Inuit in Canada, this man who taught him how to fish, his father. His father taught him how to fish. And when he get married, he will teach his child how to fish. Okay. And there is another one responsible for hunting. His father taught him how to hunt, and then he taught his son, or who will teach his son how to hunt. Women are responsible to teach their children, are responsible to sew clothes, are responsible to cook the food. Who teach them? Who taught them? Their mothers. So everyone knows his role. The man will go hunting, the man will go fishing, and women will do their part. So everyone in the community knows his part. Everyone in the community knows his job. Everyone in the community knows what to do. Everyone knows his role. Okay, this is an advantage of traditional economies. Everyone knows what to do and how to do. Are you with me? Girls, you get the idea of traditional economy? Inherited?
Yeah.
Okay, if you are born in into a family of hunters, you will hunt, right or not?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, if you are born into a family of farmers, you will farm. That's it. So, little uncertainty exists over how to produce because you do things much the same way your parents did. So you in the tradition economy, how to produce, your father teach you how to produce. What to produce, your father teach you what to produce. Because remember, the most important 3 questions we talked about before about economics was how to produce, what to produce, and for whom to produce. Okay? Remember the 3 questions?
Yes.
Okay. What to produce. Yeah. So the 3 questions, girls, the 3 questions in economy here in the tradition, wait a minute, the three questions in economics. Remember previous section we said that most the 3 important questions, what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. Here we have those 3 questions answered. What to produce? I have to hunt or I farm. Okay, how? My father taught me. Okay, for whom? For my community. Okay, for my community. So if I live in a community of fishing, I will go fish. If I live in a community of hunting, I'll go hunt. If I live in a community of planting, I go plant. So what to produce, up to the community. How to produce, my parents teach me. For whom? For the community. So the 3 questions are answered in tradition economy. So what are the bad things in tradition economy? So this advantage of traditional economy, and this you have to know, little to uncertainty. And we know what happens. I will go hunting today, I will bring the food, we will eat and sleep. Here is it. Everyone knows what role to play. So life is stable, predictable. I can predict what will happen. There is a flood, there will be much fish, or there is it is too hot, so the water will not be enough for everyone. So I have to adapt with the climate in this. So life is stable. My father go hunting. He gives me the fish, I eat, we sleep. That's the life. So everyone knows what role to play. What are disadvantages of traditional economy? What are bad things about this traditional economy? The one that tends to discourage new ideas and new ways of doing things. So if we are one of the Inuit in northern Canada, and you live on fish, or you live on snow, or hunting and fire, and your parents teach you, or they send you to a specific place to as a school, and you can come back home. Do you have any other way to survive? Then you learn from your father how to fish in order to fish and feed your children. Do you have any other way? Grade 9.
Yes, miss.
Again, if you live in a community of fishing, your father fishes in order to give you food. When you grow up, can you do anything different?
No.
No.
Because you have to feed your children. Right?
Yes.
So you have to go fishing. So you cannot change yourself. You don't have dreams, you don't have anything. New ideas cannot be established there because you have to follow the traditions. Grade 9, are you here with me?
Yes, miss.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Ariam, Aitem, Batul, Bashira,
Yes, I'm here.
Basima. Yes, Basima, Razan, Nazik. Yes, be with me, girls. Yara.
ma'am.
Yes.
Who are
Okay.
you?
Okay, so people will be discouraged. They will not invent or do any new ideas. Okay, they will not do that. And the lack of progress, because they are still fishing since the beginning of their lives, it causes economic stagnation. Stagnation is like sleep. Okay, and low standard of living. They don't do anything. They eat, learn, sleep. Or parents, they go fish, they eat, they sleep. Women, they wake up in the morning, they clean, they cook, they sleep. That's it. So the standard of life is low. Of course, okay? The standard of their living is low. Okay. Disadvantages of traditional economies: discourage new ideas and new ways of doing things. Lack of progress, lower standard of living. They will not ask their parents to go to the mall. No malls, no cinemas, nothing. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Then we will start the second and the last economic system for today is command economies. As you can see in the picture, there is one man and he shows like this, points like this. This man stands on this arrow. He is at the top of the arrow and people are carrying the arrow. So only one leader determines and decides everything. He decides and answers what to produce. He is the one to decide. How to produce, he is the one. For whom to produce, he is the one. He answers all these questions. In a command economy, only one authority makes the major of decisions. What to produce, he decides. How to produce, he decides. For whom to produce, he decides. A command economy can be headed by a king or a dictator. a president or anyone else who makes the major economic decision. Economic decision, what to produce. I will not give money to health this year. I have to give money for military equipment, guns and this. So he doesn't take those money to help his citizens. No, he spend it as he wants. He spend the money of the community or the government or the country as he wants. I am the only authority here. I am the one who decides what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. This in common economy was followed in some countries like Cuba, like the old Russia. Russia before was called Soviet Union. Okay, so how the common economies work? In common economy, the government makes the major economic decision. This means that the government decides if houses or apartments will be built. Here, I want to build the house. I'm not allowed to build the house. The government has to build the house for me. I want to make a private school. No, I'm not allowed to make a private school. The government builds school for us. The government gives us food. The government does everything the government makes. It also decides on the best way to build them, yani how to build them. Yani, okay, there are a few people who want houses. The government decides the best way to build them. And how to build them. And for whom to build them. You are not allowed to build your own house. The government limits the private houses, private property. People are not allowed to own their homes. The home is for the government. People are not allowed to have their business. Business is for the government. You work for the government. You go and work for the government, but you don't make your own business. This is my own house. No, you are not allowed. This is my own farm. You are not allowed. The government has everything. The government owns everything. And she is the one who decides. As we said, in the former Soviet Union, which is now Russia, the commission, there is a commission, community set together, a group of people in a commission. They determine the needs, they set the goals, and they establish production. Quotas for major industries. So they sit together, the commission, and they think to find a solution. There is, what can we do? What can we do? There are people who, or the government wants a factory to build, how can we say, or a factory to produce cloth. To produce cloth, we will build it in this place. We need 100 workers from this place. This is how life works. The government decides everything. What if the government decided to not give money to new houses? She will take the money for military equipment or to produce military equipment. So she will build factories of military production, like Russia. Russia produces like half of the guns and military equipments of the world. Who decides? Who decides? The government. The government decides. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. Advantages.
Yes.
What is a good thing about common economies? That one man or one committee or one decides what to, wait a minute. What is one good thing of the common economy? What is one good thing? The main good thing of common economy, okay, that it can change the direction. Change the direction drastically. It can change direction drastically. Drastically means dramatically, يعني catastrophe. How? For example, the Soviet Union was an agricultural society, and people used to plant and harvest. They had fresh food. But when the government said that it will give all its money to produce the military, as we said, military production, it turned this government, the country turned from agricultural society to industrial nation. Factories were everywhere. They emphasized the growth of heavy industry, guns, okay, bombs, planes. During this period, the Central Planning Agency shifted resources on a massive scale. So they turned from agricultural society to industrial nation. Who turned them? The government. The government decided, and people of the country have to follow the rule, the order. Okay, so this is an advantage, one advantage, that it can turn the society from agricultural to industrial. And of course, vice versa, if the government decided that it doesn't need military equipment, it can go back to, again, to agricultural society. Another advantage, that the government decides the health services, educational services, all public services, the government decides that it's available to everyone. So everyone is allowed to join the public school. Everyone is allowed to join the public hospital. Everyone is allowed to join public institutions, public faculties. So they provide health insurance and public services for everyone. This is the second advantage. One, it can change direction. Number two, health and public services are available to everyone. What are disadvantages? Actually, the disadvantages of common economies are many disadvantages. They ignore the basic wants and needs of consumers. They are the government. We are the government. We give you food. That's it. We give you education. That's it. We give you health, hospitals. That don't ask for anything else. That's it. You need food, you get food. You need work, you get work. That's it. That is life. Don't ask for any more. In the Soviet Union, for example, generations of people were forced to do without consumer goods and adequate housing. They go to work, they do their part, but they live in small houses. Okay? Now in North Korea, you know about North Korea, people, it's a locked country, and people of North Korea are not allowed to go outside of North Korea. Here, the government has put a strong emphasis on defenses. We defend our countries. The North Korean people have been suffering years of hunger because the money of the country is what is to build a defense around the country. But he doesn't take the money, the government doesn't take the money to feed its people. Okay, so they ignore the wants and needs of people. This is number one bad or disadvantage. Number two, the system gives people the incentive to fill their quota instead of producing a good product. I wake up in the morning, I go to the factory, I did my work, and then I go back home. That's it. In the Soviet Union, quotas for electronic motors were measured in tons of output. Soviet workers then filled their quotas by producing the world's heaviest electronic motors. How? There is a factory for electric motors. So all the people will go and work there. So the government built another factory. As I said for you, the country, when the government decides how the community goes, they can transfer the community from agriculture to industrial. So the system gives the people, you have to go and work in this place. Number 3 disadvantage. It is called bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is the opposite of democracy, girls. Democracy, that the people, we are free to choose what we want. Bureaucracy, no. Large decision-making bureaucracy. Yani if I want to not build the house, it is if I want to get a paper out of the faculty, I have to go to a clerk, and then another clerk, and then this second clerk takes me to the third. Go to the third floor. Go down to the first floor. Go back and come tomorrow. Go home and come tomorrow. Go home. This is it. In order to do anything, you have to pass through many steps. This is called bureaucracy. In the former Soviet Union, an army of clerks, planners, and administrators was needed to operate the system. And this has slowed the decision making, as we said. If you I just want the paper. You go to the first floor, the second floor, the third floor, the fourth floor, fifth floor. Why? I just want the paper. Stamp the paper and give it to me. No. This is called bureaucracy system. Okay? Bureaucracy is when you want to take a decision, you need to wait for a long time. One more disadvantage, okay, that bureaucracy lacks the flexibility. So they gather together, for example, there is a problem happened in, I will tell you what, I have to tell you a very interesting story. Have you heard about Chernobyl, girls?
No.
Chernobyl.
No.
I don't know if we have time or not. Next time, remind me. I have to tell you about Chernobyl. Chernobyl was a series for 6 episodes. You can find it on the internet. Chernobyl is a nuclear factory. Okay, was in a city called the Chernobyl in the previous Soviet Union, and people lived there. People lived there around this nuclear, as we can say, this nuclear factory, okay? And then it exploded. Because of bureaucracy, they couldn't save the city. Why? Because they told the first one, and the first one had to tell the second one, and second one had to tell the third one. Till the government knows. It took a very long period of time, which was the reason that the explosion happened, and the city is isolated till now. Next period, I will show you. Just remind me, teacher, tell us about Chernobyl, and I will tell you. So this bureaucracy limits the decision taking, the process of taking a decision. Okay, girls, this was the last thing for today, disadvantages of comment economy. So we took 2 economies. We took tradition and comment. Tradition, fishing, hunting, planting. Comment is a government decides everything. So what happens in a comment economy? The economy is designed to meet needs, not wants. I will give you food, water, cloth, and that's it. No incentive to work hard. People do not often lose their jobs. So they don't do anything. They just go to the factory, do the job, and they go back home. That's it. Large bureaucracy means the slow decision making raises cost of production, lacks flexibility. Bureaucracy, what is bureaucracy? In order to take a decision, you need a long time, a very long process. No reward for initiative, which slows progress. If you want to do anything new, no place for you. You understand, girls?
Yes.
You
Yes.
understand? Are you sure? I tried as much as I can to simplify it for you. 2 economic systems. The first one was the tradition. Second one was the comment. Which one do you prefer, girls, to live in, the tradition or the comment?
The tradition doesn't control as much,
Yes,
while the common
yes.
control.
The common control. Excellent, Razan. Excellent, Habib. Another Razan Badia. Razan, we have Razan Badia and Razan Sankari, right? Razan Badia, where are you?
No, it's the same one. My
Razan
dad's
Badia
name is
Sankari. So
Badia
the
and my
other one
family
is
name
Razan Ismail.
is Brian.
Yes, yes. So excellent, Razan. Razan Ismail, do you have anything to add? Yara, Bashira, anyone?
Yes, the tradition is better because like you have the freedom and also like the people are free. No one is being forced to do something they don't want and
Yes.
stuff.
They are forced by nature because nature forces you to hunt or fish, but not the government. Girls, please remind me to tell you about Chernobyl next time. You will enjoy it to the max.
Okay.
Okay.
We finished today. See you.
Okay.
Next week we don't have a quiz. The week after we have a quiz. And in week 6 we have a quiz.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.